Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. So we're not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Like you winning on it.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Now, I appreciate you for tuning into The Run. And, you know, the first interactive sports podcast that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, or you just want to chime in on a conversation, hit us up, 219-413-9405. And, you know, we'll play a take back on the next episode. So speaking of episodes, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off of your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I know I'm going to go watch a winning basketball team in my Pistons this year. So when I buy those tickets, I'm going to create that account, use the promo code. And I'm sure the special guest we got in the building today, Travis Hicks, Spectrum News 1 sports reporter as well. He's in the show with us today. What's going on, Travis? You going to see the Pistons this season or what, man?
Manny, I am. I'm actually taking a week off from work in January to see the Pistons for my birthday week. So I'm excited. It's like from the 9th to the 20th. So guys, see them number one seed in the East. And always it's a pleasure being on your pod. You're doing amazing things. Love seeing the channel grow. Love talking sports with you. Literally my favorite person to talk sports with. Not just saying that to say that, but no, you do a lot of great work and excited to be back.
Man, I really do appreciate that. Well, you know, I mentioned the Pistons thing. We kind of stand in the same boat on that. You know, we love to see the Pistons win, like you said, first in the East. But we let's shift it over to the NFC North because, you know, the Lions ain't been looking as dominant as they've been in the past couple of years where they've been running the NFC North. Now, let's just go over the standings really quick, bro, because hey, I don't want to make no assumptions, nothing like that, because Lions fans, for some reason, think I just got beef with them. There's Lions fans out there that's like, you only say the bad about the Lions fan. And I'm like, that's what y'all just producing right now. So I'm sorry. I'm not trying to clown any Lions fans. But let's just say this. So first in the NFC North, Chicago Bears at 10-4. Second in the NFC North, Green Bay Packers at 9-4-1, and then the Detroit Lions at 8-6. Now the Lions are out of playoff contention, but damn it, they are very, very close. Will they make the playoffs?
Yes, and the reason why I say yes, I believe this team is motivated. They'll win the last three games are very winnable. Obviously, you got the Steelers coming up, Vikings Christmas Day, and you got the Bears to finish it out. Now the Bears, two of the last three of the games for the Bears, they have the 49ers. They still got to play the Packers again. One of those two games I'm willing to bet they'll lose. And they could potentially lose both because obviously both of those are really good teams. But the Lions, I think injuries has been the sad story, like even last year, because even like in yesterday's game, you see 34 points, but you allow 41. Now, granted, going against the Rams, arguably the best team. But I do think this team is motivated. And I just think if the Lions can get into the dance, they can make a run because Goff is quietly having an amazing year. 25 plus TD passes, only 5 interceptions, the completion percentage almost 70 or just over 70. So, I mean, these guys are stepping up. St. Brown had his best game of the season. Waymo's been, you know what I'm saying, J-Mo's been like doing his thing, and Gibbs has been the best running back in the league. So if the defense can start containing, I definitely think these last three games are winnable considering the Vikings have been struggling and the Steelers are struggling. The Bears will be the toughest one, though.
Yeah, the Bears might be the team that really keep y'all out the playoffs. But it depends on if they can also beat the Packers. So if they lose to the Packers, that helps y'all in a sense because you guys get an opportunity to beat the Bears. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays. But I like what you said about Jared Goff, too, because Jared Goff is quietly having low-key an MVP season. I think if the Lions were winning ball games, Jared Goff, an argument could be made for him winning MVP. And I know we'll have that conversation a little bit later on, but I mean, that's just how good he's been playing. Statistically, he has the numbers to back him up. And also, when you look at the eye test as well, he also has that type of play where it's on that level. Now, the thing here is, okay, yeah, Lions, you guys still have a shot. You're not out yet, but the Bears is going to be that key matchup. Now, I'm on record. I'm saying the Bears is legit, man. This is a team, the offense have proved that they can beat you in multiple ways. They can beat you by running the ball, passing the ball, and then if you look at the defensive end, they are also very elite on the defensive end, first in takeaways. Now, playing the Detroit Lions, last game of the season, it's going to be pivotal that they win this game, and it's going to be pivotal that y'all Lions win this ball game. So I'm expecting. I hate to say this, bro. I'm so sorry. I'm expecting the Bears to win. I'm sorry.
Are you saying you're expecting the Lions not to make the playoffs, and you expect the Bears to win that last game of the season?
I think it's cooked, man. I'm sorry.
You think it's cooked? Manny, I love you. You're my brother, but I think you're wrong. I don't think it's cooked because the Bears, I believe, will lose one of these last 3 games. I don't see the Bears winning 3 straight. Ben Johnson has been amazing. He might be coach of the year. The real Detroit fans know Ben Johnson. He was a huge loss for us, but you got to admit, since Dan Campbell's been taking over the play calling because John Morton didn't do what people thought he would, our offense has been more explosive. You saw what we did to the Bears earlier in the season. Now, granted, it's not the same Bears team. Caleb Williams has been amazing. He even looked really good yesterday. But I think the Bears are in the playoffs for sure. But keeping us out, I don't know. But it's tough, though, because the Bears are balling. Caleb Williams is looking great. That team is looking like amazing. So I see your point.
Here's where I run into a little bit of like attention when I think like Lions might win. And I truthfully think it could go either way. Like, let me clarify that first before some Lions fans clown me and all that. I truthfully think it could go either way. And are y'all at home that game, or that's in Chicago?
So that game's in Chicago because they beat Chicago earlier in the year. So it'll be tough. Soldier Field,
Man. Oh man, yeah. See, y'all got to play them in Chicago, so that it just adds even more reason of why I think the Bears might end up winning, man. So they're gonna be at home in Chicago, and the big issue with the Lions has been the defense. We know the Lions can put up points. We know they can score. The offense has looked shaky at times, but ever since Dan Campbell has started calling plays, they look pretty good for the most part. However, with the Bears, they will be able to keep up with the Lions with scoring the ball, and it's going to come down to which team can stop who. And I just don't have faith that the Lions defense will be able to stop the Chicago Bears, just because I've seen the Bears roll over these so-called elite defenses in the NFL so far. So when the Lions have an injured, beat down, bruised defense, and they're going to be going into Chicago playing a solid offense, I just don't see it happening. And then on the flip side of it, when the Bears are on the defensive end, this is a team that gets a lot of takeaways. They get to the quarterback. They bring pressure. Like, they have a good secondary. So these are some of the things where I'm looking at and I'm like, it's going to be a close game. But ultimately, I see the Bears just pulling away and taking this dub, man.
I gotta say I disagree with you. I do see your points, though. You're making very good points. I think the X factor in that game will be one man, Jahmyr Gibbs. I saw a stat earlier today. The Lions are 8-0 this year when Gibbs has touchdowns in a game. They've lost every game he hasn't had a touchdown. So that stat is really compelling because it's about getting Gibbs going. He just recently tied Barry Sanders' record for most touchdowns before the age of 24 with 45 so far in his career. So I think if Gibbs can really, because I believe in Goff. I know Goff's going to do his thing, but if Gibbs can get going, that 1-2 punch of him and Montgomery, it could be hard for the Bears. Now, the thing I will give you is our defense is shaky. Obviously, we don't know if Kirby Joseph's coming back. Brian Branch just tore his Achilles, so that's a huge loss. We still got Hutch and still got some guys, but the defense is banged up, especially the secondary. So that's the thing that worries me about the Lions. Even if they get in the dance, it's like, are they going to be able to stop like a Caleb Williams? You got Jordan Love, who he looks like 07 Brady every time he plays against us. Stafford, obviously, I know we're going to talk about the MVP, but I'll give you my opinion on him. He's been phenomenal. And all these guys, so even, Dak Prescott. So it's just really hard for our defense because of the injury. So I think that's the one thing holding the Lions back, because I think the Lions versus the Bears is going to end up being like yesterday's game. Hopefully it'll be a different outcome. It'll be a 34-41 type game. It's going to be a shootout because the defense is so bad right now. So I think Lions, I'm still rolling with them, but I will say the Bears have surprised me with how great they've been. So
yeah, I think they've shocked everybody at this point. I don't think many people thought they was going to win 10 games this season. I know coming into the season, I thought there would be progress, especially since we've seen how Ben Johnson can get an offense going, but I would have never put the bottom dollar on the Bears winning 10 games this season. No, if anything, maybe 8 and 9 is what I was thinking. But I mean, this is just crazy that they've been playing this good. But to kind of give a little credit for the Lions, you guys compete with any team you're going against, no matter if it's in the division or not. There isn't really much of a reason to think the Lions aren't going to make any of the games competitive. So I'm expecting a solid game, and again, I think it can go either way. Now, another team in the NFC North right now is the Green Bay Packers. They have a chance to win a division, get to the playoffs. Packers, you guys unfortunately got swept against the Packers, but they're still very much going to be a playoff team, most likely. How elite do you think the Packers are this season?
I think the Packers have been very good. I think Jordan Love, I've always been a Jordan Love guy. I think he is somebody
Mhm.
who's elite. He does have his bad games, obviously, just like others, but Jordan Love has been very competitive. He's getting this team to the playoffs now. One thing major that's going to hold them back is the Micah Parsons injury, the non contact. He could be done for the season. I'm praying for a recovery. You never want to see a guy go down like that. But I think that's going to hold them back because he had changed that whole motto of the defense. Now, the Packers are a legit threat. I think they can come out the NFC like the Packers are a very good team. But I think with the Parsons injury, it's going to be extremely tough. Now, it's also going to depend a lot on Jordan Love because, like I said, he'll have days where he is amazing. The other days he'll be quiet because this is a team that swept us, but they also lost to the Browns earlier in the year when Joe Flacco was starting. So it's like, what Jordan Love, what Packers team are you going to get? But I am willing to bet the Packers will be in the playoffs, and they're going to be tough to beat, especially if we play them. But I will say this: it is tough beating anybody 3 times in one season. So
No lie.
I do think we can. I think it could be a situation of a few years ago when Brady and the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl and they beat the Saints. A lot of people forget when they beat the Saints in the playoffs, the Saints beat them both times in the regular season. So it could be a situation like that. But I think this NFC is loaded because the Packers are great, Bears, Lions, so many great teams.
Yeah, it's a lot of evenly stacked teams in the NFC right now, especially the NFC North. Because I mean, none of these teams, even though the record might show 8-6 for the Lions, man, Lions are still very much a great team. And I mean, the only division I think is kind of trash right now and that will get eliminated wild card is unfortunately this division of the NFC South. It don't matter who coming out the NFC South, bro. This is a trash dump over there in that year. So it's it's cooked for those guys.
I agree.
It's over with. And I just want to. All right, now let's talk about the MVP a little bit. So I have an MVP in mind, and I'm just thinking about last time we talked. This was actually it was actually a couple times ago. I'm gonna digress for just a second, but there was a couple times ago we talked, and we were talking about how teams we were hoping to be really good, and teams we were excited to see what they do and things like that. One of the teams you mentioned, and I've been thinking about this a lot, damn near every week of football, but I haven't said it to you yet. One of the teams you mentioned was the Patriots and Drake May.
I did.
Somehow,
Remember that?
somehow them boys is on fire right now.
I told you. They're an elite team. I do remember that. That was before the season started. Yep.
Man, yeah, somehow they're on fire. Drake May is an MVP candidate, which surprised me. We also have Jonathan Taylor was an MVP candidate at one point. Baker Mayfield very early on. Matthew Stafford is in there. So just to hear your thoughts on it, who you got as MVP? Maybe I said their name as a candidate, maybe I didn't, but who's your MVP of this season so far?
One, before I answer, I want to say thank you for pointing that. I was wondering if you were, because I told you New England is legit. Drake May is phenomenal, and he's deserving of that conversation. I'm happy to see him do well because I really do like him. But my MVP is Matthew Stafford. Now, some people might be like, oh, because he played for the Lions. No, Stafford is one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. And I'm willing to make a hot take. If Stafford wins the Super Bowl this year, he's a top 10 QB ever. Stafford has one of the greatest arms we've ever seen. This man, I'm telling you, what he's doing this year at 37, the ratio of, I believe, 37 TDs to only 6 interceptions. He leads the league in touchdown. Oh, 5 interceptions. Thank you. So, like, obviously he threw the pick yesterday, which was a nasty, great play from Aiden Hutchinson. But watching Stafford pick us apart and what he's done all year, this man, I've been watching him my whole life since I was in 6th grade. Stafford is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. If he gets another ring this year, he's top 10 ever. And I think he's easily, without doubt, the MVP. They're 11-3. I mean, think about all the guys he's made great. Puka, not saying he wouldn't be great without Stafford, but he made him amazing. Man. Cooper Kupp had the best years of his career with him, Johnson, and the list goes on. So I think Stafford, what he's doing with that team, I mean, like, he has Kyron Williams as a running back. Kyron Williams is amazing. I'm not talking about, like, he's made all these guys better. Blake Corum. I'm rocking my Michigan shirt. I love Blake Corum. But I think Stafford's MVP.
Man, I 100% agree with you.
Oh, okay. I was
wasn't trying. I wasn't trying to agree with you. I just knew you was gonna say Drake May, but no, man, I agree. It's Stafford without a single doubt. I don't know how anybody can look at the MVP race right now and not think Matthew Stafford. That ratio, 37 TDs to 5 interceptions, is crazy. He went 8 games at one point with no interception. He's second in passing. He's first in touchdown passes right now. Like this man has been a monster. And to your point of how you were saying he's made everybody better that's played with him, from Cooper Kupp to Nakua to now Devontae Adams. Like, who knew that he had this much juice left in the tank with Devontae Adams? Like, we seen him kind of going to waste over with the Raiders, and then like it was just a slippery slope downhill for Devontae Adams until he linked up with Matthew Stafford. So, I still think it's a little crazy, the whole top 10 thing. That's a little wild to me. It is. It's a bold take, but I think that argument is acceptable. Only because of what he's been doing outside of the Lions. Like he helped that Lions team a lot. He helped Calvin Johnson prove and show everything he can do as an elite receiver. And then as soon as he left Detroit, he started winning Super Bowls, going to the playoffs year after year. So I think it is a genuine debate. Now, top 10, it's close, man. It's close. I don't know if I could. It's close, but I think he trumps Aaron Rodgers for sure. So if Aaron Rodgers is on that list, I think Stafford trumps Aaron Rodgers on that all-time list, wherever he may be. But if he wins another Super Bowl, definitely he's got him beat, man. He's got him beat, and a lot of others.
But I appreciate you saying that. I get it's a hot take, but I'm saying if he gets the second ring, because, man, we got to think there's a lot of amazing quarterbacks who just won, like Aaron Rodgers, and a list of other guys that only got one. Not a lot of guys got multiple Super Bowls, unless you're talking about a Brady, a Joe Montana, Mahomes, even Peyton Manning only, got 2. Eli, 2 as well. Not comparing him on that list, but just listing guys that have 2. But I'm saying if Stafford gets that, he's a guy who's been, man, you're from Detroit. Like, Stafford was never the issue here. It was like he didn't have the team around him. When people say, like, what do you mean he had Calvin, he had Golden Tate? Don't get me, great players, but he didn't have the team around him. Like, if Stafford right now, and there's no disrespect to Goff, was on the Lions, we already won 2 Super Bowls. If you gave Stafford a Gibbs, and that's just the fact, though. It's like what Stafford's doing, like he's just proving people's point, especially getting a Super Bowl in year 1 after the trade. And his play has only got better. And one thing I think is interesting about Stafford, and you can make an argument about this with athletes from multiple sports because we're seeing it. It seems like athletes in nowadays age are getting better as they get older. Stafford's 37, playing the best ball of his career. If you want to look at other sports and name other athletes, they're doing the same thing this late. So Stafford, to me, even after this year, if they win it or not, I think Stafford still has a few years left in the tank of elite ball. And to go back on your point about Drake May, I would put Drake May right at 2. And I would have Jonathan Taylor at 3, but this might shock you. I would actually put Gibbs in the top 4 or 5 of the MVP voting that later half because he's having an outstanding season. But right now, I would say Stafford. But Drake May is a close second because what he's done for New England, I know they blew the game yesterday, but he did win 10 straight games before that. So he's a close second. But I'll go with Stafford, especially if he has another great performance. This is a big one. Thursday night, playing for first place against the Seahawks, both 11-3. If Stafford does again what he's been doing in Seattle, I think it'll be hard not to give him the MVP because when you look at their wins, all against elite teams,
because Seahawks got a crazy elite defense, so that's going to be a matchup to watch coming up this upcoming week 16 now, which is crazy. So, man, that's about to be a duel. And you brought up a good point with Drake May. So now I have to question the legitimacy of this whole Patriots run, man. Patriots got one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. And to me, that just discredits a little bit of what Drake May has done. Just a little bit. Not saying he doesn't deserve any praise of what he's doing, but that whole time period, maybe through week 4 through week 6, where people were saying Brady Jr., come on, man. That was a little crazy for me personally, because I'm like, man, some of these games he getting carried by the defense. Like, some of these games they winning by field goals, low scores. Like, some of these games that they were winning was just very iffy. So to hear Brady Jr. was a little bit crazy to me.
Brady's my GOAT. Like, I just want to, obviously I got my Michigan. Brady, people, and Rob hates when I say this, but Brady's by far the GOAT. Nobody's going to pass him. But I'll be honest, he was playing a little bit Brady-esque. Not saying he should be Brady Jr., but he had moments. And even though you did say they have an easy schedule, which you're not lying about that, they still had beat the Bills earlier in the year. They should have beat them yesterday, but obviously they choked that game away. And I think New England's legit. I think this is a team who could beat the Chargers in the playoffs. I think they could beat the Ravens if the Ravens make it. Now, granted, the AFC playoffs is not going to look that crazy because you are right. It's not like he was playing. Even when they beat the Bengals, it's not like Joe Burrow played or he even beat Patrick Mahomes. So this playoffs is going to look different. But I think Drake May, this is his opportunity to make his name, and I think he's been doing that. Now, is he MVP? No, because what Stafford's doing. But, I mean, Manny, for a guy who you looked at me crazy when I said this was a playoff team, and now they're a legitimate 1 seed, I mean, I think it's been a little bit of Brady in them. Obviously, time will tell because, it's hard to compare anybody to the GOAT. But I think, like, he has more great seasons to come. And we will see the real colors when they play those tougher teams because I want to see them play the Bills again in like a playoff game or even the Chargers.
Yeah, I need to see it because like they played the Bills and I get it. They beat the Bills and stuff like woohoo, all of that. And then they, obviously they just recently lost to them. But the whole Bills matchup, man, Falcons beat the Bills.
Yeah,
Falcons beat the Bills. We beat the Bills. So, and we should have been a playoff team, but don't even let me start talking about that. But Falcons beat the Bills. And that just shows like, all right, something is going on with this Bills team where they're so up and down and so inconsistent, especially early on in the season. Yeah. They were really inconsistent. So, obviously, hey, it's their same division. So, things might be a little bit awkward for them. Those division games are always a little weird, but I don't want to discredit them too much. It was the Drake May hype was just killing me just a little bit too much. I'm like, I don't know, man, but I think he's good though. He's playing good. He's got his team in good standing, second in the AFC right now. And hey man, they're balling. So maybe this is the year they go far and really establish something and continue to build from that. So I don't know. I'll leave it on that. Now, this does make me think Colts here. Jonathan Taylor, amazing running back, been balling out early on in the season, really. And Colts right now are not in the playoffs. If the playoffs were to start today, 8-6. You got any thoughts about the Colts and their previous MVP candidate?
So first, Jonathan Taylor did amazing for me in fantasy. Just gotta admit, most of the season,
bro.
He's amazing. It was tough to see Daniel Jones go down after he really revived his career, obviously in Indianapolis. Yeah. But I do think they still have a chance. I'm not going to say they will or not. With Phillip Rivers, I'll be honest, when they first heard he was coming back after him probably watching games like us last week, I was like, why did they sign Phillip Rivers? And he actually looked okay. For someone who hasn't played in 5 years, playing the best defense arguably in the league, he almost beat Seattle, in his first game back. And I don't know if he had just still been training. So I'm going to give them a chance with Phillip Rivers because he still looks okay. Now, time will tell about his shape and all that because they're trying to make a playoff run. But the fact he has that experience, I give the Colts a chance. Now, do I have confidence the Colts could beat like a Broncos, Bills, or Patriots, or even Chargers in the playoffs? No, but I give them a chance to make it a game because Phillip Rivers, we can't dismiss, he still was a good quarterback during his time. And he still looked okay yesterday. So maybe with more reps, he'll get better. But I will be honest, when they first signed him, I thought the Colts were cooked. But after what I saw yesterday, I give the Colts like a chance. I give them a chance.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I was kind of in the same boat. I seen them sign him, and I'm like, oh hell no, they're done. They've lost. But also, after last night, he played pretty decent, and I mean, he still looked better than a lot of other quarterbacks in the NFL right now, which is saying a lot. But based on their schedule, they might be all right, and he probably can will them to winning. But that's my only concern is the durability of a 45, 44-year-old grandpa. Like that's my only concern. And to anybody who's ever played a sport, and you probably relate to this too, when you haven't played basketball or done anything in a long time, like let's say we're going to go to the gym and get some shots up, go get a couple runs in. When you haven't played basketball or something in a long time, and then that first day back, the first game or so, the first 20 minutes or so, you always feel good. You're like, oh, damn, I still got it. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I can move still. And then what happens that next morning? You wake up and you're like, oh, my gosh. my leg, my shoulder, my neck. Like your body just be tore down. So that's my only concern with Phillip Rivers is, yeah, he looked good against the Seahawks. And I know there's a lot more technology that's put into the game now that's built around recovery. So he's going to need to use that. But you play good one game, you got a whole another week to prepare. You got 3 more weeks left where you have to prepare and be good. So I think that's the part where I'm worried about Phillip Rivers. And the Colts is like, is it going to be durable? Is he going to wake up and be like, I can't go. My knee is not doing it. My leg, my hip, whatever. Like, because he's at that age. So, I don't know. That's my concern. But they might be okay. They might be okay to get in the playoffs. But they got 49ers, Jaguars, and Texans, which is like no joke at this point. And all of those teams are pretty elite. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, man. But this kind of brings me to this question here. Super Bowl. Who you got in the Super Bowl? So we done talked about all these different teams. Some of these teams good, some of these teams bad in the running, whatever. Who's your Super Bowl pick?
So assuming my Lions make the playoffs, I'm actually going to roll with the Lions if they can make the playoffs. Just hometown team, and two, like I believe the Lions are really good. They've lost like a lot of close games that they should have won, and they've really been a great team all year. They've obviously had some hiccups down there, but I will say this though, just because there is a possibility they won't make the playoffs, just in case they don't. Not saying I'm trying to pick multiple teams. I do believe the Rams will win the Super Bowl. If my Lions aren't in, I believe nobody's beating the Rams. Like Stafford just got it. I think this year it's incredible. Like when he first got there, they won a Super Bowl. They were like kind of like that super team. Odell Cup had his best year of his career. They went through like a rebuilding for literally maybe 1 or 2 years, and now they're already back to that same like exact team with Puka. I mean, he's like he's insane. And obviously you got Devontae. I know he got hurt yesterday, but assuming he's not out for the season, even if he was out, I think Stafford's building these guys. So if I had to pick a team, I would say the Rams. Obviously rooting for the Lions, but I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL.
And let me say this. I'll apologize for my overreaction on the Lions. I think the Lions can beat a lot of teams. So if they get into the playoffs, they are a very dangerous team to go against. Like if I'm in the NFC and first round is against the Lions, that's a tough matchup you do not want to go against, especially if you're a team that hasn't had it quite figured out yet, or if you've been struggling around. Like, for example, I use the Eagles. Eagles offense haven't really looked good. Their record doesn't necessarily reflect their play. So if they mess around and run into a team that is pretty solid like the Detroit Lions, but has a lot of injuries, anything can truly happen. So I'll be fair on that. I'll be fair. It's not a crazy take. As crazy as it sounds, or as initially as it sounded to me, it's really not that crazy. So I ain't mad at you for the Lions and saying they might go there. But no, I also agree, man. I think Rams is a team, and another team too that they just been killing it quietly, and I don't know how much hype they have, but I'm not in the spaces where they have a lot of hype. They're kind of getting overlooked week after week, but I'm going Denver Broncos, man. I think we see a Denver Broncos and Buffalo Bills matchup in the AFC Championship. I think that's very much possible. Broncos have been beating a lot of teams, man, and I love the way they get these wins, whether it's by a field goal, whether it's a comeback situation. Granted, all of them haven't been pretty, but damn it, this is a team that only lost 2 games, and they found a way to win the rest of these games on the schedule. And it's not like they have just a cakewalk of a schedule. They played Packers. Yeah. They played Packers. They played Texans. They played Eagles, Bengals, Cowboys, Colts when they were hot. Like, they played some good competition. So it's not like they just have a cakewalk of a schedule and winning all of these games. Like, some of the way they're winning these games is a little suspicious, but nonetheless, they're still finding ways to win. And that's what really makes me think, like, if you can find a way to win, then maybe you can find a way to win in the playoffs too.
I do like the Broncos pick. I want to say that. You did bring up another team. This is a hot take, but I think this one you might agree with, but it needs to be said. You also brought up the Bills. Josh Allen has no excuse. This is a playoffs without no Mahomes, no Joe Burrow. Lamar might not be in the playoffs. We're still waiting to see if the Ravens make it. And 2, Lamar hasn't been the same Lamar we're accustomed to. So, Josh Allen, you have to at least make a Super Bowl. But really, the Bills have to be the team to really win. I know I'm picking the Rams. I'm standing by that. But the Bills, you have no excuse now, because Josh Allen, who's 0-4 versus Mahomes in the playoffs, you're avoiding Joe Burrow, who you've also lost to in the playoffs, and Lamar Jackson. So it's like, if I'll be honest. I'll be shocked if the Bills don't make the Super Bowl because really, not saying it's going to be a cakewalk for Josh Allen because obviously the Broncos are very good. New England, we
Yeah.
got these other teams, but I think Josh, you got to at least make a Super Bowl.
Bro, I 100% agree with you. If this year Josh Allen don't make it to the Super Bowl with no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, yeah, bro, we about to have to put you in the same conversations as Joel Embiid. Because at this point, like, you ain't never gonna win, bro. Like, you ain't never gonna win. So, like, the road to the, and I know it's Super Bowl, so it's a lot of good teams and stuff,
Sure.
but your kryptonite is literally gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So the only thing that lies from you in a Super Bowl is some new kryptonite. And maybe it's Drake May. Maybe it's the Broncos. Maybe it's Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars. Who knows? But it's like, yeah, man, it's no excuse for him not to win because this is the year you don't have a Mahomes. And I think that's why we're seeing so many different teams in the running too right now is because like anything can truly happen coming out of the AFC. And then if you look at the NFC as well, like it's a lot of new teams that's here besides the Rams and Eagles.
And that's like, and that's one thing we haven't even brought up. The Eagles are still a team that could really still make a run. We know people can say what they want about Jalen Hurts, but he's a Super Bowl MVP. I don't care what anybody says. He shows up in big games. This is somebody who outplayed Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls, not one. He outplayed him in both. Which, if you can look at the numbers, all these numbers are proving that I'm right. People might say I'm a Jalen Hurts apologist. I think Jalen Hurts is not as bad as people think. So the Eagles, I give you that. And with Josh Allen, it's like you just said, your kryptonite is gone this year, and he might be out next year because Mahomes tore his ACL. So we'll see how long he's out. So it's like you really have no excuse. I know there's a lot of good teams. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk like you said, but you really got to have a discussion. If Josh Allen and the Bills don't at least make the Super Bowl this year, let alone win it, will he ever win a Super Bowl? Is he going to end up being like a Joel Embiid or a Karl Malone or one of these all-time great athletes that just doesn't win? Because really, I mean, every time they play the Chiefs, it comes down, like you just said, to one possession. Now it's like you got it. So, I mean, if they don't at least make the AFC title game a really Super Bowl, I will be shocked. Like, if we are back on the podcast saying, like, man, the Bills lost to the Broncos in round 1 or something, I'll be like, this is – you got to have that discussion. He might never win a Super Bowl if he doesn't do it this year.
Yeah, I think he's cooked. If he don't win this year with no Mahomes, bro, because the last thing, I'll say it, the absolute last thing you want to do is give Joe Burrow another year to figure it out. Give Lamar Jackson another year to figure it out. That's the last thing you want to do, especially with all the other teams, like Broncos with Bo Nix and Drake May on the page, like all these other upcoming teams. That's the last thing you want to do is give them another year to get better. So yeah, man, he's got to win. And you brought up a point too about the Eagles with Jalen Hurts. This team. That's what they are. They don't show up. That's what they are. They don't show up. They're just doing and it's mainly a lot of the fans doing a lot of running the mouth and all of that, and they get the hype from the media from being the Philadelphia Eagles, but they don't show up, man. This team just it's so inconsistent. It's ridiculous. And I've been saying this all season with the Philadelphia Eagles is that the Eagles are the Atlanta Falcons with a positive record and a couple more wins. That's it. They got some good talent, but they just found out how to win a couple of these close games. The referees helped them out a little bit more than they helped out the Falcons. Like the offense is shaky. The offense is bad. It doesn't look good. The defense has been holding it down most of the season, forcing turnovers and getting sacks and generating these interceptions and things like this. But from the offense, oh man, it's just a tragedy. It's a tragedy. And this is why I always throw that comparison out because they're 9-5 and they're gonna win a division and get to the playoffs. But Eagles, I'm just not concerned. I'm not really afraid of the Eagles coming into the postseason. And I know they know how to win games. And Jalen Hurts is a guy. I still think Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. Let's not get that misconstrued. But I think when I put them against these other teams, like if they have to go against the Seahawks, I'm picking the Seahawks to win. If they got to mess around and play the Packers or the Lions, I'm picking the Lions or the Packers to win over the Eagles.
I do like the Lions part that you said. The reason why I still give the Eagles a chance is because Jalen Hurts shows up in big games. People can say what do you want, like, just a tush push, all that. But the Eagles do win big games in big moments. Like we saw what they did to the Chiefs last year, which might have ended that dynasty, what they did in the Super Bowl. So I still give them a chance in the postseason, but you are right. They have been inconsistent, but they're a team that you could just never sleep on because they've been there like a few times, like, and they can win. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the NFC's loaded. The AFC still got a lot of great teams, but it's more so I think both of us kind of agree the Bills really need to make that push. But the NFC can go multiple ways because another team we didn't really talk about who's 10-4 right now is the 49ers. CMC looks like he's back.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's been good. And the 49ers, for some reason, every even year make the NFC title game.
Man. Yeah, that's another team that can, man, you're right. We haven't really spoke about the 49ers. And that's another team, though they have an easy schedule, they know how to win ball games. And that is the last thing you want to go against in the playoffs is a team that knows how to win close games. They prove that year in and year out, every postseason, that they can win some ball games, whether they're hurt, they're healthy or not. So I think, yeah, they got this easy schedule. And that's personally why I haven't been yapping about them too much, because a lot of the teams that they've been going against that are deemed a playoff team and that were in the playoffs last year, they ended up losing these games. But 49ers are still somewhat of an elite team and they know how to win ball games. So it'll be interesting to see what they do as well coming down in the end of the schedule, since I know that's going to affect a lot of different teams of if they make the playoffs, hence the Lions being one of those teams. The Bears are affected by that as well. So they got Colts, Bears, and Seahawks, and this is a tough end to the season, man. Colts trying to get in the playoffs, Bears trying to secure that playoff spot as well, and then you got the Seahawks. They're just an elite team right now, trying to strive for the number 1 seed.
Oh yeah, I think this is going to be an amazing night, and I mean amazing rest of the season. And when I'm talking about night is Thursday night. I'm eager to watch that Seahawks and Rams game, and I think that's going to be a great finish. And really, I love the parity right now. Don't get me wrong. I do like Mahomes. It was cool seeing the Chiefs make the last 3 Super Bowls, winning 2 out of 3 and what they've done. But I'm kind of intrigued to see new teams, new guys. So I think this postseason is going to be one for the ages because there's so many new quarterbacks too with a chance trying to put their legacies. Also, we talk about Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, different guys. If the Lions can get in, Stafford. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, me too, man. Me too. Other than that, man, look, anything else you want to clear the arrow on? That was been boiling in your heart, anything like that? Not that you have to, but if you have something, let's hear it.
I want to say, I always appreciate you having me on. I know you always in your shows with like a quote, right?
Yeah. I'll leave you the floor.
Okay. I want to
If you
say
got
something to the public that I read this, and I read this quote almost every day from DMX. He says, "I appreciate my failures the same way I appreciate my blessings. They're both equally relevant in my journey." I think that is so important. In the journey, you're going to have ups and downs, good days, bad days, and hopefully there's always the next day to, learn. So I believe, if you're used to winning, learn ways to be consistent. If you're losing, try to find ways to win. And overall, it's a learning in a win or a lose.
Man, that is facts. Okay, perfect. Man, I love that positive note to end the show, man. Wow. Yeah, that is, I couldn't agree more, man. Sometimes it's about just going back to the drawing board, figuring it out. But whether you win or lose, it's going to help you in the long run either way, because it's going to teach you something, that you may not have known before, give you a new experience. So, man, yeah, I love that, man. Love that. Also, Trav, man, let the people know where they can find you. If they want to follow you on IG, Facebook, wherever, let them know where they can go ahead and find you.
Thank you, Manny. You all can follow me on Instagram at Travis_Hicks_reporter, Travis Hicks on Facebook, Travis_reporter on Twitter, and just Travis Hicks_reporter again on YouTube. And Manny, keep doing your thing. Please subscribe to him. Best sports podcast out there. I mean, The Run doesn't get better than this.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. All right, look, y'all, that's all we got for the show. So appreciate you for tuning in, whether you're on the pod, whether you're on the live stream, wherever you are listening, whether you come back and listen, whatever the case is, truly appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast, Facebook at The Run Podcast, TikTok at The Run Podcast, Twitter, I think it's Podcast The Run. I've been trying to get more active on Twitter, so we try. But other than that, man, look, that's all we got for you. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We will be back later on in this week, and so on and so on and so on.